Hello, welcome back to the MLB DFS Slate Breakdown for August 23rd, Wednesday. We got baseball all day long today, so I hope you got your early lineups in. We are going to be going over the main slate today, but we will start off with going through the perfect lineups and the winning lineups from yesterday, followed by some projected ownership and pitchers to consider, and lastly, we'll go over some stacks. All right, now, before we get into it, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to all our videos. It helps us out a ton. Just feeds that YouTube algo to give us a little more love and therefore give you guys more content for free. All right, also, we are going to be raising our prices in 11 days. September 4th, we go up to $39.99 per month. Now, it's still by far the cheapest in the industry, and those that are already customers, your prices are still locked in for at least another year to what you're paying now. So, that also means that if you get in now, before we raise our prices, your lower $29.99 rate will be locked in then as well. Also, we got a new affiliate, good old Chalkboard. It's like the Discord for sports betting, but now they also have a picks and a pick'em site. So they are very similar to Underdog or Thrive or Prize Picks, like all of those sites, but they have a great incentive for you guys. $300 deposit match. So if you put in $300, they match $300, giving you $600 to bet with. It is a great way to build your bankroll and really get serious about prop betting. So I think they have a great platform and it is a great spot. I recommend signing up. And if you deposit at least $10, play in one contest, you can get 2 free months of LineStar. All right. Enough of that stuff. Let's get into the fun. So, start with those perfect lineups from yesterday. All right, so we got Verlander, we got Gallen. Yesterday was a pay up for pitcher day, and it sure worked. Used almost all the salary, which is no surprise when you're paying up, over $20K for 2 pitchers. And after that, I was just one-offs and value guys outside of Mookie yesterday that got it done. So let's see how the winning lineup went. So Falcon 2807, who it appears it was a single bullet, got it done. They went Gallen. They went Blake Snell. Then they had a little Brave stack, a little Yankee stack, a little Dodger stack, and some Cleveland, same game correlation there with Miles Straw. So, interesting little lineup. They got it done. Congrats, Falcon. Love to see those single entries winning. And it looks like, 1, 2, and 3 were all single entry players that won. So, congrats to them. Now let's check out FanDuel. All right, so the FanDuel perfect lineup, no surprise, Gallen, he was just insane yesterday. He got it done. Then after that, all one-offs outside of Cleveland. Cleveland putting up 8. There was a couple teams that put up 6. Milwaukee 7, Houston 7. Whenever, there's not a true outlier for scoring, this one-off thing happens on the perfect lineup. All right, now the winning lineup, DeBags. DeBags got a new bag, $20K to him. He had Gallen super low owned on FanDuel, 4% owned, putting up 58. Just, sets you so far apart. And then they had a 2-man Atlanta stack, a 2-man Blue Jays stack. So that was 4 of his lineups and then 4 of his players, then just one-offs from there on out. Congrats to the bags. You got the bag. Now, let's pay attention to what's going on today. 6-game slate starting at 4:05. Should be a fun one. Now let's get into the pitchers. Pitchers is pitching's just a mess on this slate. So we got Severino at only 5,400, but 40% owned. And this dude has been so bad this year. Shocking to me that he is coming in at chalk. He's just so cheap that I guess it makes sense a little bit. But, you know, can he turn into form? Dude has been awful lately. FIP of 8, FIP of 5.5 over the last 20. You know, low K rate, high walk rate. He's essentially just been doing everything bad. Now he's versus a bad Washington offense. He is better at home. You know, 73% more fantasy points at home. And that's probably why everybody's going here. If you look at a lot of his home starts, 16 points, 2 points, -9, but then 21, 10, 21. So all of his respectable starts have been at home. You know, he's super cheap, but it's hard for me to follow a chalk when he's been this bad. So I'm probably not really playing too much of him. Next, we got Mackenzie Gore, 7,400 versus the Yankees. So this game is really just getting all of the pitching ownership. Gore is cheap. When he's on, he is really on. Shows some real nice ceiling games when he's on. And at his price, you know, a 22% combined K rate's not too bad. 26 for himself. I don't mind it. Yankees do hit lefties well, though. And his StatCast data is a little sketchy. A lot of hard contacts, a lot of fly balls. Would not be surprised whatsoever to see, say, Judge Stanton hit one out today. I did see that DraftKings is doing a boost on the Judge home run call. Plus 300 versus plus 200. So, and I mean, Judge looks like he's in a great spot to hit him out. But it may not really matter if there's nobody on base. You know, you can let a home run or two go and still have a solid score at 7,400 price. So I'm not throwing out Gore as a no-go just due to ownership. I think he is a little bit interesting. Next, we got Kevin Gausman. 1.7 value, 18-point projection. He's been poor versus Baltimore. Put up only 10, 4.1 innings, 3 earned runs, 2 walks versus them earlier this season. And then also went 8 innings, 2 runs, 4 Ks, and 2 walks. So both games this year, he's given up some walks, given up some runs. But this is a guy that typically does not walk much. His K rate is higher than he's shown against them. I would expect that to bounce back a little bit. He's a really solid pitcher. He's been really good all year. And I wouldn't be too scared off by him in this situation today, especially with pitching being so bad. He is clearly one of the best pitchers on the slate. Charlie Morton, 9K, 1.8X. You know, it's, as always, warm in Atlanta. Morton hasn't been great as of late, but may have bounced out of that last start when he had 10 Ks, 6 innings, just pitched an absolute gem versus the Yankees. He is getting a familiar foe, though, in the Mets today. And generally, he's pitched well against the Mets. 160 plate attempts, hitting 222, 25% K rate. You know, I don't mind Morton. Once again, we're struggling for pitching today. So all Morton has to do is not allow some runners on base, and he'll likely have a good day. Not allow those free passes is the key for him. Next, we got Kershaw. So Kershaw still is likely to be on a little bit of a pitch count. He went 71 pitches last game. I think we could probably get up to 80 today. Cleveland isn't good versus lefties. They strike out at 20%, low ISO, low WOBA. And, I mean, Kershaw's amazing. So I get going here. He is pretty pricey, though, for likely being on a pitch count. But today's rough pitching-wise. Kremer, you know, He's pretty much an average MLB pitcher in a tough matchup versus the Blue Jays, and Blue Jays have kind of had his number. Not much K upside. If it wasn't for him being so cheap, he would be an absolutely no. But with him being so cheap and it being such a hard pitching slate, I think he's kind of interesting. 2.6 value, 17-point projection. Hard to get that anywhere else on this slate. Chris Sale, 8,500. Look, I just think that, one, the matchup is hard. He is away, and he's likely still limited on a pitch count. So that's a no for me, dog. Quintana, dude's been pitching insane all season. 2.89 FIP over his last 20, 3.5 so far over his last 5. The issue with him is just the K rate. Not much upside here. 7,100 makes him interesting. Outside of that, it's a no versus a very good offense. Reed Detmers. So we do have to make sure he's pitching on the second game, not the first. I do not remember which one he is pitching. But Reds can strike out a lot. Detmers can strike people out. So I do not mind going Detmers. And Andrew Abbott, same thing. Angels are in a doubleheader, so make sure your platform is allowing that night game. Sometimes they do kick that one out. I have not checked on both platforms so make sure you do that. Now let's check out good old FanDuel. Gosman coming at 27%. FanDuel main slate is starting at 340, so know that. And then they do not have that Angels and Cincinnati doubleheader in. I think DraftKings probably should have done this also, but they didn't. So 6-game, 3:40 p.m. Western, Eastern, 6:40 start. Gosman is the guy that's getting all the ownership, 27%. He is 11K though in a tough matchup. With him being so high owned and so pricey, it's a little harder for me to go to him on FanDuel. He is clearly the best pitcher on this slate though. Aaron Savali, I think Savali is going to get some ownership here. And rightly so. He's been good lately, 2.43 FIP, 3.5 over his last 20. He lacks upside, but he should be able to pitch deeper into the game, especially with Colorado striking out 26% and just not being a very good offense altogether. He's at home. The K rate, combined K rate at 22% is lower than I would like at 9,700. But on today's pitching matchup, I think it does make some sense going to Savali. Severino, super cheap. A little more interested on FanDuel just because of his ownership being lower, but don't like it. Probably not going there. Charlie Morton, 17% owned. Definitely interesting. He just needs to watch his walks. He's been decent versus them in the past. It's, just can he keep people off base today or not? Mackenzie Gore is a little higher owned than a little more expensive than I would like, but I think he does have some real high upside. And when he's on, he's really on and has a real nice upside. So he's definitely in consideration. Kershaw doesn't have the pitch count for me to go there probably today on FanDuel with only one pitcher. Now let's get into our stack attacks. One of the things I will start off with saying is on FanDuel, Tampa Bay will be a little bit interesting. They're versus Gomber. So love to pick on a good Austin Gomber from time to time. And I think that today is a good one to do it on FanDuel. Now, loading the stacks up. All right, we'll just start at ceiling today because it's here already. So the ceiling plays, we got the Braves. They're a ceiling play every single day at this point. They just crushed the ball as a whole. Next ceiling we can see is the Astros versus Sale, which I do not mind whatsoever. Sale probably doesn't work too late into the game, and you get into the relief, and who knows what happens at that point. Projected ownership here. Highest projected is the Dodgers versus Cleveland and Curry. Curry's been okay, not terrible, not bad. All the ownership is going to the Dodgers. It is in Cleveland. Dodgers are big time favorites. Makes sense, but they aren't the highest projected implied total on the slate, which I think is very interesting that they're not, that they're getting so much ownership. Next, Yankees versus Gore. We've talked about Gore. He is, has his ups and downs, and Yankees can absolutely get to him. Especially the righties in, say, Judge, Stanton, whatnot. All right, now our highest projected. So Astros are coming in pretty high projected, no ownership. That's very interesting. Cincinnati is very high owned versus Reed Detmers, also very interesting. Detmers hasn't been good lately. He's been decent on the season, but lately he's struggled a bit. So keep that into consideration here, that Cincinnati is an interesting little stack. I think you could actually probably play both sides of this game. Detmers has a decent K rate, and Cincinnati strikes out a lot, so there is some upside to him as a pitcher. I think Washington's super interesting. Low owned, Severino is chalk, and he's just been awful lately. So this Washington offense can make you pay by letting guys on base, and that's what Severino's been doing, has been letting guys on base and making people pay. So I like Washington. They're a real nice leverage stack today. Mets versus Morton. Morton lets the long ball go from time to time, and he hasn't been that great with a 5.35 FIP. He's allowing a ton of people on base, walking a ton of batters lately. So if he is falling into that trap, he could have a rough day there. So like both of those. Now, value-wise, we got the Mets versus Morton. Mets have been hitting a little bit lately, and they have some real interesting value pieces. DJ Stewart was my home run call today. He's only 2,700. Vogelback is in a great spot for a home run as well. 3K. McNeil is going to single you to death, but he is still, interesting getting on base and whatnot. So Mets make a little sense. We have Toronto versus Kremer. Makes a little sense there. Kremer can get got, and Toronto has a pretty good offense here. Cleveland versus Kershaw. Don't love it. Kershaw is extremely good, and I don't think you need to get that different on this slate. If Kershaw was a little higher owned, I'd be a little interested, but not at his ownership. Angels, they've been hitting the ball. I don't love their value stacks, but I do not mind having an Angel stack today. And then just to show the implied team totals here, the Braves 5.5, Angels at 5, and Dodgers at 4.5. Braves being 5.5 is very interesting when the Dodgers are the highest ownership. I would expect that to change a little bit, where maybe Braves are a little higher owned than they currently look like they are. But they do have a good pitcher that they're going against, so, who knows. But team splits are pretty insane for the Braves these days. All right, guys, that'll do it for us today. It looks like a fun one. It is only a 6-gamer, so make sure you try and get a little different. Don't play all the chalk, because then you'll be battling with everybody. Have a good one. Let's win some money. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to our video. And I'll see you guys soon. Good luck tonight, guys. Bye.